Hello, everybody. I have one person watching right now, but in the future, if you're watching from the future, hello. I'm the Punk Psychologist, also Dylan REE-Shard. I have a PhD in counseling psychology, um, and I am going to play whatever. Today, I'm going to start actually playing Zelda Ocarina of Time. So, since this is the first one, it's going to be rough, but bear with me. Already going to work on getting a better mic, but um, I am a psychologist. I'm licensed in the state of Mississippi. I'm also approved to practice telepsychology in 42 different states in America under PsyPact. Um, and while I may be a psychologist, I am not your psychologist, though if a client watches this, then technically I am, but you are not entering into any sort of therapeutic relationship with me. Um, Obviously, I'm there if anybody needs resources or access to. Feel free to reach out, but this is largely for informational purposes, educational purposes, and fun because we all know right now the world is dark and strange, and I know I need a way to remind myself that things are going to be okay. Um, so that's where we are, and I thought I would start with one of my favorite Zelda games. It's actually not my favorite. Um, Ocarina of Time, because for a lot of people, it is where they started with Zelda. And I think it's a good introduction to talking about psychology. So, um, I might at times talk about psychological things as they come up, but I might also just ramble on whenever. So, yeah, I'm also drinking coffee. So, as they say on the YouTubes, I hope you have your snacks and beverages available. Choose your sin. Um, and then we'll go ahead and get started. If you somehow missed my my test run last night, you were really you missed out. I had full blown nearly panic attack. That was fun because I didn't know that if I hit tab, it all speeds up like this, and for whatever reason, it was stuck in that mode. Um, so that was fun. So I always think it's good luck to go with Lonk instead of Link, but that's just me. In the vast deep forest. It's the Deku tree, the Deku daddy. The children of the forest, the Kokiri, live here with me. It's always been strange to me that Link's room is like so bare in this game, um, and you have to wonder if it's because of where he got his start, which you'll learn as you play the game, or watch me play it, whichever. So I've always found it interesting that at this point, Link hasn't seen any of these people in his actual like life, and usually what they say about our dreams is that they're like a conglomerate of people we've actually seen. So when you see someone's face, usually it's because you've seen them before. So it's interesting because he hasn't seen any of those people at this point in his life yet. So and then Navi. So I don't know if anyone has ever done this, but I always assume that since this was created in like Nintendo 64 time, right? That like in the middle of the fairy is like an actual little creature. But because obviously we can't get that to that like level of detail in a Nintendo 64, that would be impossible. So it's just a bright light, but in my brain there's like a little creature in there, and I always wonder what Navi would look like. A boy without a fairy. And she was a fairy. I used to absolutely love this part as a kid um, because I couldn't get past um, the third kid dungeon for a while, so I would just replay the game up to like right after the second dungeon, or I guess child dungeon. Um, so I just kept replaying it. I did the same thing for Majora's Mask too. I didn't really beat these until I was a teenager. So, fun fact. So I think Link is like 7 or 8, I believe. If you've never tried to wake up a 7 or 8-year-old boy, um, this is what it's like. So Link doesn't really show it, but like you'd have to imagine that he's super pumped because he's supposed to have a fairy at this point, and he's never did. So he's like the boy without a fairy. Um, but yeah, so you'd think he'd be excited. So like, look at his room. I guess like a kitchen or like sink area. There's the kitchen thing. What is happening? What? Whatever that was. Who knows? Let's go meet Saria. The way she runs is too much. Yahoo! I've always been curious about this little mushroom right here. Like, why can't we pick it? Also, I'm so curious about this little drawing because it looks like a Dodongo, which is like a creature we'll meet soon enough. But yeah, I've always been super curious about where did that come from. Wow, a fairy. Did you just call me a fairy? How rude. Now we must talk to Deku Daddy. Okay, so this is Kokiri Forest, and it is only inhabited by children who never grow up. But if they venture into the Lost Woods, they turn into skeletons, which I've always found fascinating. Who knows what it could mean, because it could be something. Could mean something. I don't know. If you lose yourself, you turn into a skeleton. Sometimes it's not that deep, though. Sometimes it's just don't get lost in the woods. It's probably a good thing to teach children. I don't know. I'm not a parent. I hate these because I can never remember which ones have the rupees in them. There's one. I think it's these. Ooh. So, imagine that you have this whole house, right? Like a whole setup, and you just put these very easy to get to and open chests with a bed that is just wooden. I think this is a toilet, or supposed to be a toilet. I'm not quite sure. That's psychology, right? Okay, so early on right now, we're not, I mean, there's not a whole lot of like psychology stuff to talk about, but it is, to me, just fascinating, right? That you start off this game as a kid, and largely Link is pretty lonely, I guess. I mean, he has Saria, who we just saw with the green hair, but he's mostly kind of been picked on because he doesn't have a fairy, and now he has a fairy. What does Navi want? Oh, sure. Let's go talk to our bully friend, Mr. No Fairy. I've always wanted to fight this dude. Bum, 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 bum. Also, I just like absolutely love all Zelda soundtracks. They're so good. A sword and a shield. Look at his little foot. It's going so fast. Dun, dun. Okay, so if you haven't played this, or you haven't played it in a while, I think we need 40 rupees to buy the shield. Bum 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 bum. And then I always forget where there's a secret rupee here. There it is. So, fun fact, this game is one of the first big titles on Nintendo 64, and so it's one of the first major games to use a lot of these like 3D elements and navigating 3D like this. So it's a lot of games borrowed from it. Okay, this is our first big chest, and I absolutely adore the animation of Kid Link getting into this big box. Yes. So I've always been curious because it says like you can borrow it. So like, one, do we give it back? I don't think we do. But if it's just borrowing it, then why is it here? Do folks just regularly hide really sharp knives around children? Or no? I don't. I think that's frowned upon in most societies. So you'll see little elements like that in the game to go back to the original idea of first like 3D game. There's like some little features they threw in that really highlighted the innovation. So I think it's cool. Whoops, broke the sign. We are not speedrunning this, but if we were, the backwards. Wait, how you do that? Oh wait, it's the side, that's what it is. That's technically the quickest way to make it around the map, but it doesn't matter. Alright, let's go get the shield. Lonk, look this way. I regret to say that it would be... I thought about like, okay, what if I played through a Zelda game I haven't played? And it would... The ones I haven't played are... Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons I haven't played. And I don't know if I can find something to play that on. Bum, 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 bum. So this is yet another example of like, these kids just run this place like a shop. He can't even see over it. Like, oh, that was quick. I'm not reading all of that. That sign won't impact me. I can't even read. So what I'm playing this on really struggles when I pause. I don't love that. Especially when I get to the water dungeon later. That's not gonna be fun. Yeah, what's that? The sword and the shield. Good grief, now you're mad. A wimp. So I think Milo is suffering from a little bit of jealousy because, you know, I'm the chosen one by the Deku tree, but he might be jealous now, but just wait. This, the story of Link in Ocarina of Time, to me, is by far the most tragic of the stories of Link. And we'll talk about why once we get to those parts of the game. While I would hope that everyone who watches this has played this, I don't want to ruin it for people. I like to stock up on these so that I never have to do it again. Okay. And we're gonna meet Deku Daddy. I'm back. Thou hast returned. Lonk. Lonk's a meme, I believe. I can't remember where the name comes from. The time has come to test thy courage. I literally just woke up, and now I'm... So Deku Daddy has been cursed. If you say no, nothing happens. He just gets mad, I guess. I don't know. I've never said no. So here's where the meme comes from. The listen meme. Listen. Alright. So I have a false memory of this game allowing you to keep his mouth open when it's done and coming back as an adult, but that does not happen. So false memories, if you're not aware, are definitely a thing. So we're pretty susceptible to memories being falsified or not necessarily lies, but we misremember things, and then if they're reinforced, then we believe them. Our memories are actually pretty rough. That's why like eyewitness testimony is like a very shaky thing. because it doesn't take much for us to misremember something. Like they've done studies on like folks remembering 9/11 and how so many people remember the exact same thing, but the likelihood that we all experienced the exact same thing the day that it happened was pretty like low likelihood. So yeah. Anyway. So this is inside Deku Daddy. You know. I think for the inside, like he can't even see his inside, and yet it's good to go. Another big chest. So just love how the game goes from you're waking up and you're just this, you know, kiddo who didn't even have a fairy yet. And now all of a sudden you're getting thrown into the middle of a tree who's telling you that you have to, you know. See, like this is a good example of how, like, before this, there wasn't a whole lot of games where you would navigate a 3D space and you had to open a door like this. So orienting you to all of this was important. So just interesting. It's pretty interesting to think about how, like, we make sense of a 2D space based solely on, like, shading. That's an area of psychology I am not familiar with in terms of being able to just spout out facts, but perception is a wild thing. No. So who's in here? Because I can't even see. It doesn't show me, because I'm using OBS, it doesn't show me who's in the room. It tells me people are watching, but it doesn't tell me who you are. How rude. Hi, random people. And if you're watching this from the future, I hope the future's better than current. I hope it's treating you well. Move. Alright, let's see. We're gonna do this there, that there, and that there. Yes. I can't remember where we saved this, but let me just save before something happens. Okay, so now we have a slingshot. And this controller is super sensitive. Alright. Now we're going higher up into the belly of the beast. Not really. We will be in the belly of a beast later in the game. Alright. Those used to scare the crap out of me when I was little. So yeah, so I think Link is immediately right off the bat showing us his level of courage, which if you haven't watched or played Zelda games before, Link is the sort of like archetypal like courage. What are you doing? Glitching out. That sucks. Like, because if someone woke me up out of bed and said, I need you to go into this big ass tree and everything's gonna try to kill you, and all you have is this slingshot, a stick, and something that makes everything bright, no. No, can I just get 15 minutes of sleep? Sometimes I wish I could play this game for the first time again. I think it would just be so fun. I'm envious of people who haven't played it. Oh wait, what happened? Oh wait, I do this? Yee. But now... Oh, okay. So I don't have to use the thing. Wait, I already killed him. Great. I probably should have just slashed him with my sword. Alright. So, the fun part of jumping all the way down. Like, do you see this? Like, I'm a 7 or 8-year-old child. Where's the adult? Like, there's not a single adult in this whole... I mean, I guess the Deku Tree is the adult, but he just sent this little tiny kid into... Ah. Well... I never said I was gonna be good at the game. I just said I was gonna play it. Let's go back up. The funny part is I literally always do that. I have to do this at least twice, pretty much every playthrough. That scared me. I thought it was gonna drop me off. Okay, anyway, so... Yeah, I'm just curious where the adults are, because at this point... Now... We'll learn this after I beat this. Like, go through the Deku Tree, but, like... There's an adult messing with children at this point, like... Oh my god. Why am I like this? Alright, third time is definitely a charm. Jeez. It's these controls. I'm just blaming this controller I have for being so sensitive. Okay, so anyway, we are... So yeah, I think it's pretty telling that we, so far, haven't really ran across an adult, and the only adult figure has put us in danger already, and maybe that's to show the courage, and that's what he said, like it's a trial of our courage, but like, I'm 7. There we go. If I would have missed again, I think I would have just quit. Say, no more streaming, I'm done with this. think I can reach this. I don't. I might have to be up there, but we're gonna try it. Yeah. So the reason I get these now is because I don't ever want to come back to this hellscape of a tree. Even though I think there is a spot that we're supposed to come back for once we get the bombs, but I'm not doing that. This is not a 100% playthrough. Sorry, getting distracted. So there's a trick for unlimited sticks. And it's that. Two, 3, 1. Remember that. Chat, remember that. What's happening? Oh, yeah. Okay. Alright, if you're watching, is it like... Because on my end, when it's on my phone, because I'm watching it on my phone, on Twitch, like on the... I don't know what... The manager on Twitch. Is it all like... Is the frame rate weird? On y'all's end? Can someone put in the chat? Because when I'm playing it, it looks fine, but then... thank you. I'll have to check out what some of my settings are. It might also be that weird error message that I got. Yeah, this I don't know if you were watching when I said like I used to play this one and the second one over and over again because I couldn't get through the third one. But I definitely feel that it is yeah. Um, I didn't even think about arachnophobia honestly, but hold on, let's see. Why is it not? I'm trying to see if it lets me play with any of the settings to help out with the lagginess, but it looks like I'll have to stop it. So, um, yeah, I mean, I guess like the good thing about arachnophobia, or I say the good thing, the primary treatments for arachnophobia are like any sort of like phobic, um, specific phobia, um, usually involves some sort of exposure. So I guess technically, this game could serve as exposure for someone with arachnophobia. Which is kind of a cool theory. If you think about the 3 child dungeons, like arachnophobia is a big one in this one, and then the second one is like we gotta climb up Death Mountain, so like could be heights. They're like big monsters, and then the third one is just weird and gross, in my opinion. But it's all about like facing your like fears, and they're childlike fears, right? Like versus when you get to adult Link and it's, you know, you're facing people who want you to be dead and facing spirits and all these other things. I keep not doing the stick trick. I always found it interesting that this is technically a Gerudo sign that's on this brick. So, what is a Gerudo brick doing in my swamp? In the deep recesses of this big ass tree? The world may never know. I'm sure it has to do with just reusing elements, but who knows? Alright. 2, 3, 1. How do I remember that? No idea. Alright, the arachnophobia is about to get real. When we... face Big Mama over here. Alright. Also, it could just be the bandwidth of where I live. Here in Mississippi, it's, good luck finding good internet. Come on, Big Mama, let's go. Why are you trying to kill Deku Daddy? It's very sad. This is probably one of my least favorite iterations of Goma. And I think it's because usually it's a pretty, like, she's a pretty intense boss, and I just feel like being the first one doesn't give her much justice. And, like, I'm a feminist, so, and we have a strong, independent woman, and we put her first. Ah! Okay, I normally don't suck this bad, jeez. This controller is so sensitive, it's kind of strange, and I'm very spoiled to the 3DS, where you can aim with the gyroscope, and this you cannot, so, because that's how I usually play through these, is on the 3DS. Absolutely hate the Switch ports. Well done, Lonk. You've saved Deku Daddy. Let me save before I... lose it all. Now I have yet more to tell ye. Wouldst thou listen? What if I said no? Like, would he be mad at me? Would Deku Daddy be mad? A wicked man of the desert. So here's to me where this game gets racist, actually. Or at least some of those like racial tones start coming out. Because yeah, so his vile sorceress powers in the search for the sacred realm. The Triforce. Three goddesses. Din, Nehru, and Varor. The origin myth. The red Earth. I guess we live on Mars. The red Mars. The law. We uphold the law, I guess. The three great goddesses, their labors completed, departed for the heavens, and golden sacred triangles remained at the point where the goddesses left the world. Since then, the sacred triangles have become the basis of our world. Something I didn't read. On the sacred Triforce, and I happen to have it on my hand, my right hand, in fact, the Triforce. I branded myself a nerd. My end is nigh. I was doomed before you started, so I had to face this trauma, and you're still gonna die. We love. I love how Link is just sitting. Like, Link said, I just fought the biggest spider I've ever seen in my whole life, and I'm sitting my ass on this ground. The Princess of Destiny, take this stone with you. Lonk. So at this point, Link doesn't know the Deku Tree very well, but Navi just lost, like, someone she was close to. Well, doesn't feel that way, but... So we have death there. Interesting. What did you do? Yes, he's dead. I'm trying to think. I think actually it would be the first exposure to mortality. I think, yeah. I mean, unless, like, you count all the things we killed along the way. But I think this might be the first time, like, he experiences it, which is interesting because... Oh, we don't learn about Link's beginning, like how he got here, until he's... They call him Adult Link, but he's technically 17, so... Still not an adult. But yeah, I guess so. I'm trying to think. Yeah, because the Kokiri don't die. Um, and I'm not sure about the manga, because there's a manga, and I wonder if there's anybody there. Like, so if we run with that, right? Like, Link just, like, this is Link's first experience of mortality, and as a kid, right, 7 or 8, he may actually not realize how, like, finite that is compared to with adult brains. So, like, kiddos, it's really important for kids when we are teaching them about, like, death, when someone close to them dies. It can be really confusing when we use things like metaphors of, like, they're in a better place or they're lost, because kids' brains will hear, they're in a better place, or they're, we lost grandpa last night. And a kid brain will hear that and think very literally, like, well, let's go find grandpa. He's in a better place. I want to be in a better place. Or like, if he's lost, let's go find him. Um, and so without anyone to explain that to Link, I mean, 7 or 8, he has he has permanence in his brain. Like, he can, but I don't know if he can actually, like, wrap his head around that without an adult around to tell him, like, yeah, like, he's not coming back. The Great Dookie Tree is not coming back. And then, like, good luck on this trip, because now you're gonna die. So I have a headcanon that Link and Saria in another timeline, like, they just continue to be close. She obviously would continue to be a kid, but, like, he, like, will start growing up. And in my brain, Link always would then become like the protector of the Kokiri. But that's just in my fun brain. So we're about to meet the most beloved character of all Zelda games ever. Everybody loves him. Everybody supports him. Everybody loves to hear what he has to say. You will encounter many hardships ahead. So we could take this as, even to buy off of the idea of mortality, like, the owl shows up to Link, and owls usually represent, knowledge and wisdom. And so it could be like Link's journey starts here, like literally and figuratively, where there's a lot of maturing that happens between now and, like, 3 days later. Did you get all of that? Yes. And then he just flies off. He drops all that knowledge and he flies off. Okay, so this is one of my favorite Hyrule fields, and maybe that's just me, but I thought I could get closer without him trying to kill me. Great. Guess that's not the case. I was never gonna get there by the time it gets... Well, looks like we're gonna be fighting our way through the nighttime. So, okay, we just learned about death. The owl says good luck. And then we're like, let's go to the castle. Oh wait, can I make it? Damn it. And then now we're facing actual skeleton. So. adjust the frame rate, because now on my end, there's too much happening at once. I can't remember how many of these you're supposed to kill, and then it gets like, then it turns into a big one, so let's see if we can kill him. Oh look, there's a big one. And there's some people who do one of the glitches where it's always night. If you do the glitch where it's always night, basically there's an infinite amount of these. They'll get huge because they get a little bigger every time, apparently. See, look, he's huge. Hey, okay. Well, that was worthwhile, because now... Alright. Castletown. So, like, another trauma right there. Fighting for our lives. This guy steals things in Majora's Mask. We'll be back. I forgot how hideous this game is with the N64 graphics. Look at her, she is getting it right now. The little one dancing in the corner. And this is why the owl is the most beloved character ever, because he seems to follow you and tell you all sorts of things. The princess is inside the castle. So here's where, if you're a fan of Mario 64, let's see, wait, do you want to hear what I said again? No. Anyway, if you're a fan of Mario 64, this castle always reminded me of the Peach's castle in Mario 64, and it was supposed to, when this game was under development, it was going to be all within the castle. Okay, I think after I talk with her, I'm gonna save here and quit so that I could figure out these settings so that it's not as laggy, because like that's no fun. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's probably not laggy at all, and you're questioning why am I doing this, but in the stream it's apparently laggy, and so I'm going to save this. And then, yeah, so that's part one. We'll pick back up where hopefully things will run a little smoother. But if you're still here, thank you for joining. If you're watching in the future, thank you for watching. Yeah, hit me up if you want, especially if there's anything in the future in terms of like this game that you want me to make sure I talk about. Happy to do that. But yeah, otherwise, I'm gonna end here. Bye.